Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the NASA Lights World Champion. Sorry. Welcome back to the World Championship at Atlanta Long. The format in NASA Rallycross Lights World Championship follows as we close up practice now, which it will lead us into a 3-lap single car qualifying session that splits the field equally into 5-lap heat races. 5-lap heat races with one joker, and the top two transfer into the feature. Or sorry, that's the wrong one. Sorry. The top two transfer into the feature and automatically get 3 bonus points in the runner-ups, and the rest of our drivers will be sent to the semifinals, and which is also 5 laps with one joker, and the top 2 will also transfer to the feature, and the winner receives the bonus points. And then this sets the grid for a 10-lap feature race where the points are awarded and trophies are handed out. Unique to the NASA Rallycross World Championships, our 2 jokers are taken during the feature. The 6th season of the NASA Rallycross Lights World Championships continues tonight, live on the Automotive Sports Network, with Joshua Darnell next to me in the commentary box, and my name is Stephen Moreau, as we welcome you into the first running of the Atlanta Grand Prix. Yeah. Our venue for this evening is the virtual Atlanta Long Rallycross layout. The North American Simulated Auto Racing first started visiting Atlanta in 2018. This .97-mile circuit utilizes the infield road course of the Hampton GA Oval, blending first fast asphalt sections with technical dirt segments. A key feature of the track is the fishbowl, a quirky and critical corner that can make or break a lap. The Joker lap also plays a major role, shaving off a considerable amount of time and adding a strategic element to the race. With this mix of speed, precision, and unpredictability, this track always delivers thrilling rallycross action. And with that, you have me, Stephen Moreau, in the production booth in the commentary box, and next to me in the commentary box is Josh Darnell. Welcome in.
We're like, welcome. We never left, Steven, to be honest with you. They got us trapped in here. The door is locked. We're not allowed to leave until this one's over, so you're stuck with us, guys.
I will let them know to kick it forward into the qualifiers.
I'm watching Eric Kaplinger on track right now. A lot of these drivers, it's interesting to note, despite what might have been said in futures, it's Brian Sawyer and Kieran Lifflander. Brian Sawyer, now granted the track is very worn down. I'm not sure when these drivers did their times exactly, but Brian Sawyer is currently 2/10 off of Kieran. And these are our only drivers in the 46s right now. Blake Smith, I saw him out on track, or Emma Smith, saw him out, sorry, Emma. Saw him out on track earlier, and they were trying to get the time down there, but ended up stopping at a 47 flat. Probably smart with qualifying coming up. These drivers don't want to get too comfortable on a worn-in track. It might mess up their first entry, their first outlap, I should say. There's no warm-up here, so these drivers need to be ready to put it to the floor the second they pass that start-finish line. So staying out could be a detriment to some of them. We'll only have the time will tell.
Well,
literally.
that answers my question. I was just gonna ask you, what do you think uh, is going through Emma Smith's head tonight, as they had doubts on whether or not they were gonna have real pace for the format, but you answered that question for me,
It.
and looks
I'm
like we are being
expecting.
kicked forward to the quali now, and
Oh,
we'll
we
see
are. Who's
who
the first on
jumps
track?
out on the track.
Jared was first. Josh Mertz is going. Raymond
Looks like
Jared DeFino is going. Jake's wheels are turning. Josh is our first car out on track, though. First one. I'm gonna follow him. I'm gonna watch his lap time, see what he manages to scrape from this course tonight. I'm on board Josh right now. A dangerous entry into turn one, but keeps the speed. He slaps all the way. It looks like
oh,
he's throwing away the track. He's throwing away the lap. We're throwing away the lap. That makes sense.
I think
Get a better entry.
must
He's
be
gonna run it
restarting.
out though. He is. He's gonna run it out there to get used to this. He's gonna practice the hairpin. It's smart. I was wondering if he was just gonna get it over with and just take the Joker, but it makes sense to just drive the whole way through. Use as much of this time for practice as you can. Any second of practice you can get is important. Do we have anything on the timings yet here, Steven, for drivers putting down laps? I have
Let me
nothing in
see
my
here.
qualifier yet in my timing
Nothing
sheet.
yet. No, nobody has crossed the finish line yet. It looks like
Let's
Josh Mertz will
Josh.
be our first to hit
Well, he's going
the
on for a
line,
second
and he
time.
puts up a 50.4 for his first lap.
Yeah, well, he went on. Remember,
Um,
he stopped. He had to go around the line.
all right, he
Rodriguez is our
scrubbed that
pole
lap.
sitter with a
Right.
47.4, setting the fastest time. Nice job, Raymond. Kablinger in P2. The Moist Boy sitting up top. Brian is definitely happy to see that. Sawyer dethrones his teammate, Eric Kaplinger, from P2, moving him to P3. DeFino coming in at P5, 48. None of our drivers yet hitting the 46s. Smith with a
And Emma Smith hits a
47.1.
47.1. Fastest
Uh,
lap so far.
Fastest lap time so far. Still not able to get that same speed though that they had during the futures race. It's interesting to see. I wonder if we've had a temperature change. Maybe the weather's a little bit different. I'm interested to see the differences here in the time in the weather that we have.
I am
Kieran, still no lap
especially
from him.
excited as
Goddard is
well.
still hanging out. Neither of those
No laps
drivers,
from
I'm not even
either
sure
of
they're on
them.
track. They're not on track. Neither driver's on track yet.
Well,
Gerald
while
DeFino on
we
his third lap, trying to get a better time right now. That's what I'm watching.
I'm gonna
Running the
quickly
final
interrupt
corner.
you here while
Yes,
we
interrupt.
quickly wait for the qualies. Let's get a little programming notes in here. So we got NASA Rallycross Contenders round 2 at Atlanta on Monday. That is tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, and then on that Wednesday, I believe. That is Torque Sports Car Series at round 5 at Sebring at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And then we'll have round 2 of NASA Rallycross Supercars World Championship Atlanta Long on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then we will be starting round 3 of NASA Rallycross Futures at IRP at 8 p.m. Next Sunday, next Sunday, sorry, on the 16th. And then NASA Rallycross Lights will be following that up at RIP as well. And then Contenders will be same place, IRP at 9 p.m. the day after on Monday. And I will finish reading off the programming notes there because it seems like we
Brian
are
Sawyer is taking
all
pole.
finished up.
Brian Sawyer is taking pole. Kieran has yet to set a lap.
Seeing cars on track here.
Zachary Goddard and Kieran Lifflander are setting their times right now. Zachary Goddard's on his very first lap, and so is Kieran, I believe, as well. Goddard's crossing the line now. I'm interested to see what time he puts down. Did he improve? 47.3. Still not as good as he was in practice, although that might have been on a worn track. Very close though. A 47.38 is what he did in practice, qualifying a 47.39. So He's going to look to improve on the second time, puts him into fourth.
And
Interested
Kieran
to see
LaFlander
what
will come
Kieran
around
comes out with.
with a 46-1.
flat.
But oh, that
One,
is not
basically.
scrubbed. It just took a second to update on the timing tower, and that is a it's a 46 flat actually.
46 flat.
Is that his second lap?
His first. This is Goddard's second right now. Goddard's crossing the jump, coming to the start finish line. We're gonna see what time if he improves at all. He did 47.2. He's getting faster, not enough to bring him up to fourth place though to throw Kaplinger. He's looking to improve. This lap looks good. He's hitting the corners right. He's having trouble here in the horseshoe though, in the hairpin. That was much better. He's almost getting on the throttle too quickly, it seems like, and the gears are getting stuck. He's not able to shift up when he wants to, and that's an issue with these lights cars. They just tend to die in the low RPMs. You have got to keep the momentum.
As I hate to interrupt you again, but it looks like Kieran LaFlander for his second lap is hitting the consistency mark like he wants to be. He just put up a 46.76, another flat 46 seconds lap.
Goddard improved again, but yet it was not enough in the end with a 47.1. However, that is something to be very happy of. Continued improvements as the track wore in. We'll see if he can hit the 46s when it comes race time.
It looks like that is going to be LaFlander's last lap, and it looks like we'll be jumping forward now to the first heat of the night.
Liflander took pole. Our podium for qualifying is Liflander, Sawyer, and Emma Smith in third. Kaplinger and Goddard ran out the top 5. It's interesting to see we have 2 drivers who've hit the 46s, with Liflander basically 46 flat, with Sawyer behind him with a 46.7, and Emma Smith behind him. It seems right behind Brian, it gets very tight.
And we are lining up for the first grid of the heat for the night. And while we do that, I would like to thank all season long. Our cameras are brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams. If you'd like to use their cameras, check them out at facebook.com/wsimcams. And thank you to Andrew Carnally IV for your camera support. And again, also the intro music for the NASA World Feed was produced by Alex Abetti. And it looks like we hear the engines and we're going.
Lights are on, green flags down, they're away.
We are off
from all the cars, although the worst one out of them seemed to be Josh Mertz getting a bad stop. Goddard
gets a great start.
Liflander and Blake crawling up on his rear though, trying not to let him get away.
And it looks like everybody is fouled in. Nobody is died on the start, which is great to see. Everybody's racing.
Off.
Everybody but one just took their joker. That's
Dan Corretto,
what I was kind of expecting.
Driver. Josh Mertz, and who is that battling right now? Josh Mertz and Goddard?
Josh Mertz and Goddard are battling real hard for position right now. And it looks like
I believe these are
Josh
teammates.
Mertz has gotten ahead of Zachary Goddard, and it looks like they are teammates. Yes,
I believe, and I am correct. They are in fact teammates. So I wouldn't expect too much battling between these two.
There's 3 teammates in this heat. We got Emma Smith, Josh Mertz, and Zachary Goddard.
Running out the
they're gonna want to try to push out Kieran
team.
LaFlander from the top 4 if they want their whole team to move on into the feature and not have to race in the last chance qualifiers. And it looks like we might just get that with Emma Smith closing in on Kieran LaFlander. We might get the Wonder Boy might just have a challenge tonight.
Do you have a timing sheet here so we can pull up to see how far Emma is behind Kieran at the moment?
Yes, sorry, 1 second.
No, switch that back over to the interval. Don't be sorry.
All right.
There we go. We're looking at 2 seconds
Emma's
behind.
2 seconds behind. That is actually really, really fast. Like for
what we've seen, yes. 100%.
especially with Kieran, who puts down the pace like a madman. So for Emma to only
Emma's
be 2 seconds behind,
yeah, holding strong, for
holding
sure.
strong, they might actually be able to put
That's
Kieran LaFlander behind them.
Emma keeps gaining time on their teammates by taking. I'm watching from the front of Emma's car right now, and I'm noticing how they take those last 2 turns before the jump in almost as if it's a diamond. They cut it so sharp and get over that grass to get that extra grip. It's interesting to see how much time is made up. Goddard passes Josh after Josh made a mistake in the chicane leading up to the horseshoe. Liftlander on the grass coming out, building up a little bit more of a gap to Emma Smith, but still no shake-up. Corrido passes Mertz, it looks like, on the Joker.
Coming up to the final lap now.
Corrido and Mertz are battling. They're pushing each other. Mertz gets spun, saves it, almost saves it. He's still around. Not able to get the momentum of the car shifted too much for him. Got away. A little bit of an incident there. I tuned in and it looked like a little late. Josh is in the pits. Too much damage to recover.
That's unfortunate to hear.
It seemed like a little bit of an ambitious move, but Corrido closed the door on him, it looked like. From what I saw, we might have to go back to replay. It looked like a racing incident, but we'll definitely have to go back. I'd like to get a second look at that one.
We have a quick enough time to take a look at that.
We're on the final lap, ladies and gentlemen. Kieran's rounding this last turn.
That is indeed what looks like happened here, is that Corrido he had the outside and he thought he could take it, but he didn't get a good entry and closed the door on Josh Mertz, unfortunately.
Kieran Liftlander had crossed the line in P1 with Emma Smith P2 and Zachary Goddard in P3. Emma and Kieran are both looking to go to the future, and we're kicking over to the second heat with Brian Sawyer, Eric Kaplinger, Moist teammates in this one, Jake Robichaux and Gerald DeFino. All drivers are on the grid. We're getting ready. The light engines have ignited. The lights are on, and we're waiting for the flag to drop. All the anticipation.
The engines, and everybody's getting ready to go.
And we're away. It's a good start from Sawyer.
Great start from all 3 Moist teammates. And it looks like Eric pushing his teammate 3 wide there.
Eric not getting the grip he wanted on the car, though. Gave up a battle for first and most certainly a position for second on that one after losing a lot of grip, it seemed like, in the turn.
Raymond who lost.
Raymond
who lost control, sorry. That was... Hold on, let me go to the right cam here. Oh,
I think it was Kaplinger. I think it was Kaplinger. Yeah.
That was indeed Kaplinger, you're right.
Kaplinger, all the Moist boys, they've gone for the Joker. It's a Moist strategy right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Helps if I use the right camera.
It looks like Ray is looking to make a pass on Sawyer, and he does. Sawyer almost let off a little bit. Sawyer going to the inside. These drivers don't want to touch. They're going to go side by side for the jump. Brian backs out of it. Ray goes to the right, loses control, gets a hold of it.
Saves that.
Sawyer backs out goes all the way to the back, wants to get back control of his car, gain his composure to saves it. These drivers are in a line. It's a beautiful parade. It's a beautiful show out there right now for these cars. All of them driving very hard, very tight. I want to see where our other 2 drivers are. JP DeFino makes the pass, I believe, on Jake, moving up to P4. I know neither JP and Jake haven't jokered yet. This is the battle that I'm watching. I want to see where these drivers come out in terms of strategy, because neither of them have jokered yet. Jake is... both of them are still battling. Jake goes wide. Both of them are still battling hard. Because if a pass happens, they've gained a momentous amount of time. Jake goes for that inside corner again, backs out of it. Maybe a little bit of trauma from last race. We're looking down. Jake gets all of the grass, trying to maximize his entry speed into this little tarmac chicane we have going here around the hairpin. Jake gets a much better turn. Jake dives off.
And Jake takes his Joker.
Coming out behind
right in front
Everybody
of
but
Brian
Sawyer. In front of Sawyer, right in front of Sawyer, but behind Kaplinger and Raymond. So Cap and Ray, Cap has a fight. Ray has this race if he can just maintain his composure. There
Eric
is
is gonna have
absolutely
to have the defense of his life here to stop him
for
as we
Eric, in
come
my
through to the
opinion,
final lap.
there is no reason for Eric to be pushing right now. His only focus should be on defensive driving at this moment.
Yeah.
Like, your teammates in P1, you're in P2, you both know that you have a chance to move on. It's important that you just both make it.
Right. Like,
JP Defino is saving that last turn for the last Joker for the last lap. We're on lap 4 right now, coming up to the final lap.
The final lap now.
JP
Over the jump is
Barring-
Raymond Rodriguez, Kaplinger, and now Jake Robichaud.
barring any mistakes, JP may have the position over Brian.
Yeah, JP still
It-
has not jokered yet, and this is his time to joker.
Brian
As we
lost a
come
lot
up
of
to the
time.
horseshoe
I'm
now.
wondering if he's encountered damage when he made contact with Ray over the jump. He might even have Jake. He might secure a P3, which was I didn't expect, and he does.
And he does. He secures a P3 over Jake Robichaud.
That is, he needs that for the LCQ, 100%. The last chance qualifier is what our last 3 drivers were battling for. It's Raymond Rodriguez with a perfectly executed race, beautifully done for Heat 2. Raymond, it is P1 for him in Heat 2, followed by Eric Kaplinger, Gerald Defino in P3, who's able to snag it away from Jake after taking the Joker, and Sawyer brings up our final driver.
And that's great driving from both JP and Robichaud. I believe, if I'm correct here, both of those were transfers from the futures.
We're into our...
We are into the
LCQ now.
There's only one heat. And we're off.
It is Zachary Goddard, Gerald Defino. Why are they not popping up on my screen? Oh,
Zachary Goddard off in the lead with a great start, and everybody filing in behind him. No accidents. Josh passes Brian Mertz. Sorry, Brian Sawyer gets passed by Josh Mertz off the start there, putting him into 5th place. And now he has to battle Jake Robichaud if he wants to get by him.
All of our drivers, except for Goddard. Even Goddard.
Everybody jokered.
Everyone except for Corritto is jokered. Everyone. So we basically have no changes happening.
Slide crashed, and he saved it, and they both are alive still.
Oh my goodness, I missed it. We're side by side into turn 1 right now with Jake Robichaud and Gerald Defino. JP backs out of it, loses a lot of time. Sorrow's on his tail now. Jake goes way wide.
Jake's gone. Off into the grass. As JP
holding on strong, defending against 2 drivers.
Josh. This is a
former
battle
champions.
For P2 right now.
Brian looking inside, pushing JP
Brian
wide.
Taps. Rubbing his racing, and that's a good.
That last tap got Brian loose, but JP's nervous now, and Brian's gonna look inside, deep on the brakes. If he grabs that grass, he'll have it.
Going over the jump now.
100%. This should.
And this
he's
is
gonna
Brian's
close Brian off. He's gonna close JP off just like that. Brian's retaken after a unfortunate start. JP looking inside, and they're gonna spin.
Oh.
Brian's gonna have to back out of it. JP should give him the position back. He does. Goes for him again, and Brian's tire's out of alignment.
And
the rear right's out of alignment.
Josh is making his way around JP, and he does.
I'm
and
sure
here
Brian's
we are for Josh is battling Brian now for P2, trying to keep, and Brian's now trying to keep both of them off of his off of his back and try to hold this position down.
Zachary Goddard is running away with this race. Brian Sawyer has damage to his right rear. It's wobbling currently.
And Josh, he's looking to make the pass, and he looks like he does.
Brian
And
can't get
Brian
the
gets
grip.
a
Brian's
bad
gonna do
jump
whatever
off
he
the
can
jump.
to
he
maintain
loses the
control of his
position.
car. Yeah, his right
And
rear
coming
is
into
not
the
happy.
horseshoe, Brian might just be getting passed by Gerald DeFino here. Gerald might be looking for a
He's gonna look
passing
for a move
opportunity here. And he's getting real close. He's good. Looks like he got a good entry into the horseshoe. Can he get a good exit? It looks like, unfortunately, he can't get a good exit. He's just not getting the grip he needs to get to Brian so that he can pass him coming up here over the jump. And it looks like
Yeah,
coming
Brian.
over
yeah.
the crossing line for the final lap is going to be Zachary Goddard, Josh Mertz, and Brian Sawyer for top 3, and JP in our 4th.
This is the final lap right now.
We've got final lap, so anything can happen. Especially with
Brian
this
is
battle between
catching-
Brian and Josh.
Brian is catching up to Josh for sure, even with damage. Zachary Goddard's rounding the final left-hander for the last time of the
Oh, and
consolation
Dan
race.
Corretto finally took his Joker, and he came out in front of both Josh Mertz and Brian Sawyer, and it looks like he put a big gap on both of them, so he doesn't even have to worry about defending. He can just drive away for the finish line. And it looks like up to the finish line, Brian and Josh are gonna battle it out. Oh, he just couldn't get the exit on before the jump, so they could go too wide there and battle.
Zachary
That's
Goddard is our
great
race
battle.
winner for the consolation race, with Dan Corretto in P2 and Josh Mertz in P3 after Brian Sawyer suffered some pretty intense damage, and there was some intense battling going back there between JP, Josh, and Brian. That was good racing.
That was great racing, and I think if I heard that correctly, Brian could have actually gotten around Josh if he didn't have a slowdown. It sounded like he had to serve a slowdown.
Oh, I didn't know about that. I didn't see that. I wonder where that
And I
happened.
believe this is the
Our
warm up
drivers are
now.
picking up in the warm-up.
So
Yep, they're on track.
as
They're
we
warming
go
up
into the
tires.
warm up, I will take you into the ad break. We will be back with more ASN Live.
You're so interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to nordvpn.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Absolutely be doing what he has to do. He has to go for the championship. He has to recover the points that he lost. He's down the race, takes the lead in the 12. What a move. And he takes the lead and holds it.
Side between these two in the turmoil. This is going to get spicy.
Exiting turn one, over the jump to begin the first lap, clogging the inside line. McFarland contact between them. They are still side by side. This opens the door for Wetz. He can't make anything happen. From the 26, he has not won in quite some time. Dragster acing the entry to turn one, up heading to the inside of Magnus, gives him a nudge. The grip strip on the inside, Phil. Wetz had a little bit better run, but looks like Rocky's going to hold his spot.
You're so interesting.
I love your...
And we are back. We welcome you back to round 46 of Championship Overall and round 2 of the 6th season of NASA Rallycross Lights World Championship here in Atlanta, with Joshua Darnell next to me in the commentary box, and my name is Stephen Moreau, live on Automotive Sports Networks. Cameras all season long on ASN are brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/WSimCams, and would like to thank Andrew Carnali IV for your camera support. Also, the intro music for the NASA World feed was produced by Alex Abedi, and if you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe to the Automotive Sports Network on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube, and ring the bell to be notified of our live streams weekly, along with our short form video content produced by Jess Rakowski. And if you'd like your content broadcasted by ASN, you can contact us at asntvUSA.com. And if you'd like to race in NASA, we have something for everyone. All of the info is at nasasimracing.com. Welcome back with me, Josh.
It's good to be back, Steven. I checked the door on the truck. It's still locked. Still got it locked in here.
Yes, we're definitely still locked in.
But I'm happy to be locked in. Happy to be locked in with you, Steven. Happy to watch some Rallycross action. We're finishing up warm-up now, probably. We still got about 4 minutes left, but the track is basically toasted now.
Well,
these drivers have been driving on it
the whole
time.
3 minutes exactly left.
Okay. I'm not sure how many... we had Goddard. Goddard was in that consolation race. And we had somebody else, I feel like. Did just one transfer from the consolation? I think I can look. 2 did. And Dan Carrito and Zachary Goddard transferred from our consolation race. Congratulations to both of you. Zachary Goddard in our consolation race kind of ran away with it. At first, it seemed like it was going to be a battle, but I definitely... the camera was not on him. We were much more focused on our battle for what we thought was going to be Josh Mertz, Brian Sawyer, and JP battling for P2, but Dan Carrito came out of nowhere with his Joker and stole the show.
Stole the show. Yeah, like
So, I mean, it's always nice to see that happen, and it goes back again to what I was saying during the Lights broadcast. This race, this track, it is so important for these drivers to not get discouraged while they are racing, especially if they're holding on to their Joker. Just keep racing, keep putting down your times, keep hitting your marks. Don't worry, that delta is so large. If you can see them on track, that Joker will allow you to pass them.
it looks like the only one on track right now for warm up is Dan Corrido. So why don't we go on board with Dan for the last minute?
Last time around.
The
Go on board. Take us in this car. I want to be next to my boy.
Here's the onboard.
We're going around. Very technical section coming up here. Try to nab a bit of the grass to get as much corner speed as you can. Dan goes over the sleeping policeman, keeps control of it, slides, power slides it, gets control of it, keeping himself in the track, practicing a little bit of an emergency situation for sure. Good recovery though. As I said, this is the world. This is what the World Championships bring, man. These drivers make mistakes, but they know how to recover.
Exactly. And if you're not practicing how to recover, you're
dead in the water.
Slow. You know? You don't want to be slow around here.
You're gonna catch yourself
in
out.
Atlanta.
Like, other drivers are gonna take advantage of you if you do not know how to control this car, even when it wants to get away from you. Dan Corrido turning around. Someone black flagged this man. Oh, okay, he stopped. All right, thank God.
All right, we have 20 seconds left of the warm up.
They're probably just gonna let us roll into it naturally. Give these drivers their warm up that they deserve. A little bit of cool down before the race, get the nerves settled, get pumped. They listen to that last couple seconds of your favorite song before you jump in the car.
Oh,
and we're away. We're in the grid.
Kieran almost rolling the beetle at the last second there.
We're waiting to grid. Our cars are getting ready. Drivers are getting ready. Last sips of water are being taken. Fist bumps are being exchanged. I'm trying to find. I'm waiting for the drivers to get on the grid. Come on, drivers, get on the grid. Let us look at some cars. There we go.
One's gridding now.
We got a line of cars. Eric Cap, Kieran's out there now. Eric Kaplinger, it looks like in P2. Good for him.
This is the feature, right?
This is the feature. Yes, correct. Our cars are gridded. Lights and engines are on. Green flag is down, and we're away. It's a good start from Emma. It's a good start from Emma on the inside, going 3 wide. Ray's around, going to block up traffic. Gets bumped and turned. That's Eric. My bad. Ray is still in the race.
Eric has
been turned in T1. Dan Grotto in P4. Kieran Lifflander leads ahead of Smith. He was a little squirrely over the turn. It's an accordion in the back here for P2. Drivers are going off. 2 drivers into the Joker. That's Kieran and I think Goddard. Emma Smith. Kieran and Emma Smith off into their Jokers right now. Emma trying. Kieran a little wide.
It's
a little bit of a handbrake turn.
Defending from Rodriguez right now. While he's trying to get pace to time his Joker to get in front of Emma
He's definitely looking to get in front of Emma here. That's definitely the goal. And as I said, now is not the time to do it. I think I would stay on track, maybe 1 or 2 laps. You have so much clean air right now, Zach. Don't waste it.
Looks like Emma Smith took their second Joker.
Pulling their pin, pulling in front of Kieran.
Joker for features tonight is 2 Jokers for the feature. So
yes, interesting note. Two Jokers for our feature in lights, not in futures. Or yeah, lights. My bad. For futures, we have an inverted order. Trying to teach our younger drivers how to pass through the grid. Even if they get that fastest lap, it does not mean you know how to drive the car. You can hot lap, but you can't race.
Coming up to the fishbowl now, Emma Smith might get passed by Kieran Lifflander because Kieran might go for that that Joker.
Kieran pulls it.
And it looks
100%.
like he pulls them.
Emma trying to pull strategy, maybe shake the nerves up a little bit, it looked like. Emma wide off the turn. Goddard making up a lot of time. I believe it took their Joker. It looked Goddard with a lot of momentum catches up to the back of Emma, looking to make that pass. I believe Emma has taken both Jokers now.
Yes.
Can you pull up the timing sheet for me here,
Sorry, that's my
Steven?
bad.
So we got Liftlander on 2 Jokers, Smith on 2 Jokers, and Goddard now on a second Joker as well. So all these drivers are on strategy. Apologies for my incorrection on Goddard there. I thought for sure he hadn't taken a second Joker yet, but now they are looking to make up time. Passes on the track. Goddard has got to close this gap if he wants to make something happen. Emma looking to defend as much as they can and catch up to Kieran to show some type of challenge to the world champion. In the back, what do we have going on in the back? I want to tune out of this race. These drivers sort of
Dan
fizzled.
Corretto, I think he just took his first Joker and came out in front of Rodriguez here by 8 seconds.
Yeah, some people here might be counting out like Eric Kaplinger and maybe Raymond, but neither of these drivers have taken their Joker yet, and that is very important to remember. If there was a time to have an issue, Kaplinger made it on probably the best time in the world. Very first turn at the very first, right before the very first lap. So he has a lot of time to make up that lost time. Will we see him be able to do it? We'll have to wait and see.
Looks like Goddard is inching his way onto Emma Smith's bumper here. Maybe he's gonna actually get to make a pass here and get
I'm
ahead
very
of
interested
Emma.
to see. I can see the way Zach is driving. He's pushing his car hard to do whatever he can. But at some time, we're on lap 6. At some time, you might have to say to yourself, like, do I continue to push for P2 and get those extra points, or do I secure a podium position for my team and just settle for P3? Now, Josh Mertz would yell at me. He would say, never settle. And I agree with that. But at the same time, what decision do you make? If you're running out of time on track, if you're running out of time on laps, you know, like, do you continue to push and maybe try to force a mistake, or do you hold back and secure your spot? Almost knowing, I mean, Goddard has a sizable lead over the other drivers in the rear here. So I'm interested to see where Rodriguez comes out after his second Joker. With 12 seconds behind, it might be a battle.
Well, unfortunately for Goddard, it looks like he will not be able to get his pace consistent enough to be able to catch Emma Smith. I was hoping that he would be able to get his pace up, because his last lap was his best lap. He put down a 47.3, which was 0.02 of a second faster than Emma Smith. So if we got to like around lap 9, he would have been on pace to pass Emma Smith. If he was able to keep those laps consistent. But
yeah, exactly. I want to tune into
a big battle right now. Oh,
big crash between Rodriguez and Corretto, it looked like.
Indeed.
No, Goddard.
Rodriguez and Dan Corretto.
Dan Corretto. Goddard looks like he's okay. Goddard's okay. My mistake. My apologies, everybody. It is Corretto that was in the accident. Big crash with him.
Dan is smoking now, so he might have too much car damage.
Ray also, a lot of front end damage on Ray's car as well. Dan Corretto is smoking. I'm sure he's getting a meatball flag.
Let's take a look at that. Look.
We have 8 laps to go. We're going to go back to the replay, see what happened. They got together and just kept pushing. It looked like they almost got locked together. Like, it's so hard to... It's almost as if neither driver wanted to give. One of them should have gave.
So one of them should have backed out of that at some point when they realized.
When they realized where they were
both
going.
of them realized what was happening here.
But these mistakes happen. Our drivers are driving hard.
But at the end of the day, it's a racing incident, so.
We're going to go back into our live action. Kieran still leading 3 seconds over Emma. Zachary Goddard,
9th lap.
8 10, 9 tenths behind Goddard.
Start up the final lap here, I believe.
I am thinking now, if not maybe 2 laps prior, Goddard has settled into this position. He is playing. I'm going to expect to see him driving safe and driving as consistently as possible to maintain, because he's the odd man out here. He's the one that's susceptible to these drivers who still haven't jokered yet. He needs to run the lap right now. He needs to maintain this gap. The only one who looks to challenge him, it looks like, is going to be Kaplinger right now with a 14 seconds behind. Goddard should have this. I believe Goddard should have this. The momentum may prove me different, though.
I believe you're correct.
No. Goddard had that by a mile.
Yeah. Eric did not get the time he needed for his pace to come out in front of Zach.
Unfortunate. Eric looks like he got passed by Raymond at the end there for P4. And it is Kieran Lifflander who wins the race, followed by Emma Smith in P2 and Zachary Goddard in P3, rounding out our poll. We're watching the end. Our final drivers coming up: Raymond Rodriguez in P4, Eric Kaplinger P5, and Dan Crito, after some bad luck in the last couple in the long sweeping left, rounding with a bad engine.
Well,
the last couple turns now.
Rounds his way around the track and crosses the line. Oh, please do it. I just heard his engine blow.
Don't let it die here. Someone give him a push. Someone push him over the jump. The momentum will take him down.
This is our race for tonight. We had Kieran Lifflander in first place, Emma Smith in second, Zachary Goddard in third, Raymond Rodriguez in fourth, Eric Kaplinger in fifth, Dan Crito in sixth.
That was a wonderful race. Honest to God, it was a good 2 hours of racing.
It was indeed. We
have interviews. I think we have interviews.
Who do we have? Nobody's in here yet.
Nobody's in here yet.
Does anybody want to be interviewed?
I'm about to start pulling people up.
I'm also about to start pulling up.
If I can find them.
While we get that ready.
Kieran's just joined. I'll assume he'll
switch.
Soon. Zachary Goddard's in the media pen. Emma's in the media pen, and Kieran should be here shortly.
All right, 1 second while I get the interviews going here.
Oh, okay. Pretty good. I showed really good pace in futures, and coming up here into lights, I qualified well, did well in my heat, and in the future, I knew I didn't have really much chance of catching Kieran unless he made a mistake. So I was really just trying to lock out the 2-3 for JC Simsport with me and Zachary.
You kept up with him though, Emma. You kept up with him though for a couple laps, and that's worth saying something. That's progress, man.
Yeah, it's yeah. There, I don't think there's a man or woman alive that can keep up with him over a single lap. Maybe outside of Evan McFarlane. But you know, I'll take being within 4 seconds. That says a lot. That says a lot.
All right. Was anybody you'd like to thank for the race tonight?
100%. I'd like to thank Emma and Debbie at Crown Creamery for making this possible and supporting JC Simsport in every way they can. I'd like to thank Josh and Zachary for supporting my endeavors when I come up into here to lights from graduating from futures, and of course, everybody and all the staff at the Automotive Sports Network for broadcasting this race and all the NASA affiliated races in the first place. It's really nice to have that.
Awesome, awesome. I'm glad to have you here, and hope you have a good rest of your night. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, thank you. You too as well. Thank you. I'll catch y'all later.
And we're gonna bring in Zachary Goddard here for our next interview. You got us, Zach?
Yep, gotcha.
Awesome. We hear you loud and clear. Tell us about your race. You started 5th, you finished 3rd, and your fastest lap was a 47.3. How do you feel about that?
Pretty solid, actually. There after the first corner, I think it was Cap that spun around. I felt like I was in a good position and took those jokers early and just tried to follow Kieran and Emma's pace once we all finished our strategies there and tried to just inch up towards Emma and squeeze in a second, but threw in a couple mistakes there at the end and couldn't quite seal the deal, but we'll take a double podium.
Zach, I got a question for you real quick.
What's up?
At what point during the race did you decide to stop pushing and just sort of be okay with P3? Was it around like 6 or 7?
Honestly, it was like the last half a lap. I was trying up until then, but it's like I just hit a wall. I stopped hitting my marks. I was going deep. It was just tiny mistakes.
Pushing the whole way through. I bet Mertz is so proud of you. I thought for sure you'd be getting team. I thought for sure in your head you'd be like, maybe I just like I'm on the podium. I'll just slow down, but that's just like you to always be pushing, always breathing down my neck too.
I hear you.
All right, is there anybody you'd like to thank for your race for tonight?
Yeah, as always, my wife and dad for watching and supporting. Of course, the team for all the tips and testing throughout the week. The whole NASA and ASN staff for putting on a great series and a great broadcast as always. And last but not least, Emma and Debbie with Crown Creamery.
Awesome, awesome. I hope you have an awesome rest of your night. Thank you for racing with us.
Right, see you guys.
See you later.
Take it easy, got her.
And looks like we will final interview for tonight. We'll have Kieran
Our race winner.
Our race winner. And you got us there, Kieran. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. How was your race? Walk us through it. You started first, finished first. You led for 9 laps, and your fastest lap was 46.6. How do you feel about that?
Feels great. Had a couple hiccups throughout the race. Had one little scare. I think it was lap 6. I destroyed my front end in the little quick S's in turns 1 and 2. I just sent it a little too hard and then got on the brakes pretty early and then clipped the curb. Kind of went two-wheeling for a bit and then hit the next curb and skyrocketed and then had to keep an eye on my oil and water temp to make sure it wouldn't skyrocket and then my engine blow. So, but yeah, aside from that, I took a different strategy this time. My main plan was to take 2 jokers off the rip, but I know Emma's really good at following the person in front and learning fast, so I didn't want her to do that. So I just got rid of one of my jokers and then took the next one, let her get clean air, and she ran a little bit slower, I believe. Joker lap was obviously faster, but if we're excluding the Joker lap, she ran a bit slower. And then I was able to take the Joker and then just get clean air and run away. And yeah, she wasn't able to see my car and be close enough to run my line. So I was able to go, I think, half a second faster each lap, and then obviously that incident on lap 6 kind of slowed my car down just a bit, and I was able to just coast it the rest of the way. So yeah, again, aside from a couple hiccups throughout the race, it was quiet, but yeah, I was able to get the job done.
Awesome. Is there anybody you'd like to thank for your race for tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody at Team KLR, assisting building the setups and a lot of test sessions and practices going into Atlanta. It's not a track that I've raced at in NASA yet. Atlanta long, that is. I've raced Atlanta short, um, and won both of those. And obviously, I'm able to reign here in Atlanta, which is great. So yeah, my mom and dad, they're both watching, and yeah, I'll just tell you guys now. I'm gonna be running some supportive paint schemes throughout the season. There's gonna be 4 different ones, and I'm not gonna say when, but you guys will see. They're gonna look a lot different than what you guys normally see me wear, such as this paint with Team KLR. They'll be specially customized by them. So, but yeah, I got to thank them. My girlfriend's also watching. Another really big supporter for a long time. My sister aside, with my mom watching along, and yeah, other friends that could be watching along, but yeah, really happy with the result, and can't wait to get them next week in the
Awesome.
supercars in Atlanta.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your night. Thank you for racing with us, and we'll see you next week.
You too.
All right, and with that, I will quickly read off our our point standings and the team standings. In first place, for the current lead for champion, is Kieran LaFlander with 56 points. In second place is Eric Kaplinger with 34. And third place is Zach Goddard with 34, and a tie for second place as I'm reading this now. And then in fourth place we have Brian Sawyer with 33 points. And fifth place we have Emma Smith with 31. Sixth is Josh Mertz. And seventh is JP DeFino with 20 points. And then in P9, P10, and P8 will have Rodriguez. P9 is Kreutzer, and P10 is Dan Corrido. All 3 of them with 13 points respectively, tied for their position. And then in the team standings, we have in first place we have Move Over at Speedy Time at 74, JC Simpsport in second place with 65, and Kieran Flander Racing in third place for 56. And with that, the checker flag falls on the evening here in Atlanta. On behalf of our entire production staff and analyst Josh Darnell, my name is Stephen Moreau. Thank you for joining us for today's coverage of NASA Rallycross Lights World Championship, and congratulations to our future winners and our Lights winners for tonight. And just a reminder, join us tomorrow for round 2 of NASA Rallycross Contenders from here in Atlanta. Until then, so long, everybody.